Stop. Stop it. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Creep is a 2014 found footage type horror film directed by Patrick Brice. So what is Creep about? Well, Creep follows this one guy named Aaron. He answers a Craigslist ad of someone that wants a videographer for the day. And the ad says discretion advised or appreciated. So Aaron, it goes out to this man's house, and when he meets him, this man's kind of weird and strange. And Joseph explains the job as he wants Aaron to film him for the day as he's leaving this little video journal for his unborn child, because Joseph has some kind of brain cancer and he's dying. He's going to die. But he's never going to get to meet his child, but he wants to leave a message for him. And so Aaron starts, filming him throughout his day as Joseph's kind of talking to his son through Aaron. And then, but Joseph's behavior just kind of gets more awkward and strange. Aaron, kind of gets more and more uncomfortable. And as Aaron gets more uncomfortable, Joseph kind of just gets more and more awkward and strange. And it just it keeps going from there.
Can I ask you a question and you'll answer me honestly?
Okay.
When you saw that axe out front of the house, was there a small part of you that thought I might kill you with it?
So what did I like about this movie? Let me just tell you first off, I'm really not a big fan of the found footage genre, but I did like this movie. Just the the story is very interesting and compelling, and it made me want to watch it. I thought the setup was very cool and original. It gives you a reason why this man is filming everything, because in other found footage movies, everything's being filmed, but it really doesn't make sense as to why it's all being filmed. And this movie, it answers that question very good as to why is Aaron filming every encounter? Because he's being paid to do so, and it's his job. And it grounds this movie in some reality, and it makes it seem much more realistic and believable. And so as I was watching this movie, you're kind of watching how Joseph and Aaron interact with each other. And Joseph, he kind of reminded me a lot of like a sexual predator. It's like he's grooming Aaron. He's kind of seeing how far he can go with him. He kind of takes baby steps into pushing Aaron, and he just keeps pushing him and pushing him and pushing him to see how far he would go. And so I was thinking that reminds me of a sexual predator. And then it kind of makes sense with Peach Fuzz, because Peach Fuzz is a wolf, and I'm pretty sure wolves are considered predators. So I thought that was kind of clever to have Joseph identify with an animal-like predator. And I don't know, I just thought all that was very, very creative and artistic. So this movie has a lot of kind of awkward humor, mostly derived from the kind of awkward interactions between Aaron and Joseph, which I'm a fan of kind of awkward, weird humor.
Aaron?
Yeah?
Did I freak you out with my rape story?
So I watched a couple interviews on this, and evidently this was originally just going to be kind of like a weird little comedy.
There's a long history of how this movie was made, because what happened is we set out to make a movie called Peach Fuzz.
It was meant to be more of like kind of a dark comedy,
Yeah.
and kind of a sweet, dark comedy. The things that people were responding to were the more the horror or thriller elements to it.
Intention.
Yeah.
Another thing that I liked about this movie is that it's pretty self-aware. It knows that it's a found footage horror movie, and then it kind of pokes fun of itself at random moments. For example, there's like some jump scares in here, but they're not really jump scares per se. They're used like they don't do it to kind of scare the audience. It's mostly used as like a joke, just to kind of poke fun of itself. And I like that, and I thought it's kind of, I appreciated the lighthearted nature of it.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Keep doing that. Come on, let's go.
Another thing that I liked about this movie is that it really does have a creepy vibe pretty much throughout the entire movie. The interactions between Joseph and Aaron, they're, even at the beginning, you know, it's very kind of awkward and strange. And then it does go into kind of pretty creepy territory, and which makes sense with the title of the movie. But it's a very uncomfortable and unsettling movie without really showing anything. It's all just the interactions between these two guys. There's not a lot of violence or anything like that. But it starts very mild and kind of creepy, then it just kind of keeps going up and up. And I think they did a really good job of just making this movie pretty uncomfortable. And so about halfway through the movie, that's when it kind of takes on more of a horror movie kind of tone to it. The first section is just, we're meeting the characters and they're kind of establishing who they are, their personalities. It's awkward, and it gets more and more awkward, but there is a point in this movie where a light switch is flicked, and then it kind of becomes a full-on horror movie at that point.
I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and just leave. Right now.
What the fuck's going on?
So another bonus for this movie is the two actors are very good. Their acting is great. They have great chemistry together, and they carry the movie quite well. And with the character Joseph, as creepy as he is, all throughout the movie, I still found him quite likable. Another thing worth mentioning is that this movie had no real script or anything. They had an outline that they used, and for having just an outline, all the dialogue and everything seemed meaningful. It didn't seem like they just filmed a bunch of stuff just to fill some time, and that everything seemed to have a purpose, and it flowed quite well. And for that to be in a found footage movie, I think that's quite an accomplishment.
It all came together in the moment. We had a 10-page outline, but all the lines were improvised and everything. We'd have a scene, we'd know that we'd have to get to a certain place at the end of it, so the discovery was us shooting it, basically. Yeah. And there were a lot of one-take shots that were 6 or 7 minutes long, where we'd be going through various scenarios, and then we'd watch it, go back and refine the take, and sort of discover while we're making it.
So this is a found footage movie, and even though it's a found footage movie, the picture quality is still really good. It's not like a lot of shaky cam, which is one of my huge problems with the found footage genre, is that it just seems like to me making a movie found footage is just used to mask any real talent for filmmaking. So the second time I watched this movie, I liked it even a little bit more, because then I picked up on a couple of foreshadowing moments that I missed the first time I watched it. So, I mean, if you watch this movie and you're really honed into it, I think you can pretty much pick up on how it's going to go. But I thought it was cool how everything that happened in the movie it's all foreshadowed, pretty much. And this movie reminded me a lot of Catfish too, which is another found footage movie that I think was executed quite well. And these two have a lot in common. There's a lot of common themes going on. One thing I didn't like about this movie was that it's a found footage movie. I don't like found footage movies, but I can't blame a found footage movie for being a found footage movie, you know. If I watch a comedy, I can't complain that it's a comedy. Just, in my opinion, found footage movies, they're usually found footage just to make a movie cheap, and it feels like they do it to mask any real skill or talent for filmmaking. And just none of the thought goes into it. They're just cheap. Studios make it just to sell it, make a lot of money, because people still go see it for some reason. But this movie, I think, it's the exception. It looked really good, story's good, and I think this is a good movie. And I would have no problems recommending this to anyone. So the ending of this movie's it's good. I liked it. It's surprising and not surprising at the exact same time. So if I had to give Creep a score, 0 to 10, what would I say? I'm going to give Creep an 8. Which, for me to give a found footage movie an 8, that's not going to happen very often. Because that's not something I like. I do not like found footage movies. But having said that, I did like this one. And I would encourage anyone to watch it that likes horror movies, awkward comedies, or definitely if you like found footage, and you're going to love this. Spoiler alert right here. There's a second ending to this movie, which I liked a lot better, actually. I think it played more true to the Joseph character. So the ending they use in this movie kind of plays more to the horror side of it. And the alternate ending kind of plays more to the original concept of the movie, which was kind of an awkward comedy. And I kind of like that original ending a little bit better. I don't really have a particular reason why, other than I just thought it felt more consistent with the film. Thanks for watching my review of Creep. I hope you like what you're seeing thus far. If not, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know. And just thanks for watching.